WGN Sports.
Holy cow! Yes! Oh! Yes!
Jump on the 4 and head to the Bronx. It is game number 1 in the Big Apple for the Sox this year at Yankee Stadium. Sox and Yankees in the opener after a 4-game series in Detroit that went the Sox way 3-1. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. And the White Sox and Yankees are two of the hottest teams in baseball right now. I mentioned the Sox won that series against the Tigers. The Yankees are hot on the tail of the Boston Red Sox in the American League East. It's a 6-game spread. Yankees are 8-1 their last 9. Sox 7-3, and dating back a couple more days, 9-3 in their last 12. The offenses are hitting on all cylinders at this point. And for the Sox, Tim Anderson at shortstop has just been remarkable, both offensively and defensively.
It's a couple of infielders that are getting it done for both teams respectively. Tim is hitting .308 in his last 10 games, and he's stinging the ball, hitting it out of the ballpark on occasion, and certainly running well. It's a good series for him in Detroit. On the other side of the page, Miguel Andujar has done just about everything right over the last 9 games. He's hitting .400. He also is hitting the ball out of the ballpark. In the last 9, he's hit a couple of home runs. He's driven in 13 big ones. And with the pitching, on occasion, just so-so because of injuries, the Yankees need some offense, and Andujar is one of those guys.
Carlos Rodon has been superlative. Nothing so-so about him for the Sox. He's been tremendous his last 8 starts or so.
It's really a great matchup tonight. You get a couple of guys throwing exceptionally well. Carlos Rodon is doing everything right. The slider has been devastating. He's getting everything over the plate, and for the most part, he's been very difficult to beat, including against the Twins last Wednesday. Last 8 starts undefeated, things going very well. In July and August, he's 4-0, and Rodon just setting the stage. He's got #1 starter stuff, and as you can see over the last 8, he's been brilliant. Over a career, Tanaka's been great against our Sox, 4-0, an ERA of 2.23. That's in 5 starts, so things going very well for him. And the Yankees making a run at Boston. Let's see if they can get there.
Sox will have a lot to say about that race with the entire week made up of contenders in the American League East. First pitch from Yankee Stadium is on the way this evening.
White Sox baseball is brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Test drive a Hyundai today. Xfinity has the largest gig speed network, serving more homes than anyone else. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Choose Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. Wintrust, home of Sox checking and debit cards. Open an account today at wintrust.com/Sox. And by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional offers on select Audi models.
Yankees get together for game number 1 of 3, and White Sox baseball on WGN TV is brought to you by Xfinity, delivering the fastest internet and best in-home Wi-Fi experience. Call or visit an Xfinity store today. Yankees come in at 83-47. They're 6 games back of first place Boston. The Red Sox just swept by the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Yankees are closing in. White Sox 51-79. As you see, the first-year skipper Aaron Boone over from television land to take over for Joe Girardi as the head man for the Yankees. Time for the Sox lineup, and it begins with Yolmer Sanchez. He's at third, then Anderson and Garcia, Palka, Davidson, Narvaez, Yoan Moncada starting to heat it up, then Delmonico and Engel, who's hitting it well as well.
Let's take a look at the defense put out there by Aaron Boone, and this is how the Yankees are going to line them up with Robinson, Hicks, and Walker left to right. In the infield, Andujar, Torres, and Voit. Behind the plate, Kyle Higashioka and Masahiro Tanaka. And that is the battery for tonight. Tanaka has been brilliant, especially against our Sox over the course of his career, and overall at 9-4. His ERA a tick under 4. He does have a complete game. Opponents hitting just .231 against him. He's a splitter slider pitcher. As you can see, the splitter and the slider make up the bulk of his performance. Four-seam fastball on occasion, the sinker very rarely. He's not overwhelming, but you're hard-pressed to see a hittable fastball from him these days. He prefers the other two. The umpires for the game tonight: Mark Carlson has the plate, Pat Holberg is at first base, Brian Knight at second, and Chad Whitson is at third. So a beautiful night for baseball. It's humid, it's a bit overcast, but it's not supposed to rain at all. The Yankees continue their pursuit of first place. They also continue their pursuit of a postseason berth. They look to be okay, at least for the moment, in the wild card, but they have greater aspirations, and that is they plan to catch the Boston Red Sox. And Aaron Boone is the man that has been charged with leading the way. So with a big series for the Yankees, much bigger than it is for our Sox, who happen to be playing as good a baseball as they've played all year, it's time for me to turn it over to my vociferous play-by-play man, Jason Benetti, who's never better than in the big house, Yankee Stadium. Here it is.
You done?
No.
That is it's the longest introduction I've ever gotten. Thank you so much, Phil A. Buster. Sanchez, Anderson, and Garcia against Masahiro Tanaka as the Sox make their trip this season to the Bronx. Tanaka is high with ball 1 to Sanchez, and we are off and rolling at 7:10 Eastern Time, 6:10 Central Time. Yolmer Sanchez, a key part of this offense this year for the Sox. He's been on base 14 straight games, and he bats from the left-hand side against the righty Tanaka.
There's a slight gap in right center field, with Hicks playing a couple of steps to the left of center.
Roll to second base as Tanaka will get. Torres throws out Sanchez, and the first out of tonight's ball game. You take a look at Tanaka and how much he relies on that split finger pitch you were talking about. It's increased to 32% this season. It's always been a major part of what he does. He relies on it more now.
Well, as his four-seam fastball has gotten tattooed, so has the use of the splitter and the slider. He's going to show you the fastball. He's not going to let you hit too many of them, and he's going to wipe you out when that is about to happen with either the splitter or the slider.
You mentioned how humid it is in the Bronx today. It's 86 degrees at first pitch, but the thing about this stadium is I don't know that you're going to get a crowd that's more engaged in batting practice. This is a loud crowd before the game at Yankee Stadium if you've never been here. And this isn't a Red Sox-Yankees series, but they were really into it before the game.
Well, imagine what they're like when Gary Sanchez is hitting and Aaron Judge is hitting. Didi Gregorius is hitting. Right now, all three of those guys are disabled, and so when they take batting practice, it's not quite as awesome as it once was, but it's still the Yankees, and it's still Yankee Stadium.
Have the feeling Tim Anderson's going to see a lot of sliders from Tanaka.
I think he's going to see sliders until his eyes bleed, or until he sees the splitter. I'm not thinking he's going to see too hittable a fastball anytime soon.
Ball and 2 strikes on a couple of breaking balls near the outside corner from Tanaka, 29-year-old, with strike 3.
There was a splitter for the wipeout. Tanaka shook off a high fastball and went to the splitter, and sink it does. His motion looks just like the fastball motion. It appears to the hitter's eye like it is a fastball until the last instant, and then the bottom falls out.
The key to a good fastball is the lack of reaction time, and so if you're throwing the splitter with the same arm motion, you are delaying the reaction time of the batter and making it shorter, right?
Well, look, that's exactly the same philosophy with the splitter as it is with the slider. To the hitter's eye, you want him to think fastball. Then as it gets to you with the slider, it moves off the sweet spot of the bat. With the splitter, it drops down below the sweet spot of the bat, and usually miss both of them.
2 strikes on Avi. And you see where Tanaka's been living in and out of the strike zone so far, mostly down to everybody.
He's not going to get you out in the strike zone too often. He's going to depend on staying out of the zone and getting you to expand that zone.
0-2 is a high fastball, 1-2 from Tanaka.
That never had the intention of being anything but a pitch out of the zone for you to look at to change your eye angle, so he goes back to either the wipeout slider or splitter. That is the slider.
Yep. We'll see how Avi handles it. 1-2. That was out of the zone the whole way. 2-2.
Tanaka has thrown his off-speed pitches just under 70% of the time. That is far and away the highest in the major leagues.
Two and 2. Spiked it before the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's Daniel Palka, who will get his first look at Masahiro Tanaka at some point, whether this inning or next inning. 29 years old, Tanaka made his debut back in 2014, his All-Star season. Roped foul at third. Hey, take your family of 4 to one more White Sox game this season. You'll get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, 4 sodas for as low as $49. Upper and lower level packages are available. Get yours today, right now, at whitesox.com/4packs today. On a 3-2 pitch, Tanaka to Garcia. At some point,
Higashioka wanted that fastball away. Tanaka did not, so he had him go through the set of signs until he finally got one that he liked. We'll look in and see which one that is. That is the splitter.
Payoff is strike 3. It was in the zone. He had to swing and he couldn't find contact. So Tanaka strikes out 2, and Carlos Rodon takes to the Yankee Stadium hill when we come back. 9 for Aaron Boone, New York Yankee legend and manager. Hicks, Stanton, and Duhar, then Voit, the former Cardinal, Torres, Walker, Higashioka, Torres, and Shane Robinson.
Let's take a look at the defense. And now Ricky Renteria is going to put him out there tonight with Nicky, Adam, and Abasail left to right. Then it's Yolmer, Tim, Yohan, and Matt in the infield, with Omar Narvaez getting the nod behind the plate, and Carlos Rodon on the hill. Undefeated in his last 8 starts. He's been throwing it exceptionally well. He's looking for his 6th win. His ERA a fine 2.71. Opponent's batting average of 1.84. That's spectacular. And that's what he will throw.
We've seen him use both the back foot slider to right-handed batters, but also we've seen him use the backdoor slider to right-handers as well to shave off that outside corner. As he pumps in a first pitch strike to Hicks.
Aaron Hicks has had a very nice season with the Yankees.
He has been one of the most patient hitters in baseball, and again, overall, a great year. But since July the 1st, he has the most walks in Major League Baseball.
Well, he figured out that with his speed, and it's good, it's not great speed, but it's very good. He'd be better served to get on base on occasion instead of swinging at everything. He's drawn 71 walks. To go with 90 strikeouts, that's actually very good.
There's a changeup, 2-2. The amazing part about it is, though, with the growth in on-base percentage, his slugging percentage has gone up too. He's seeing better pitches to hit for power.
If you stop getting yourself out of the strike zone, you're going to see better pitches, and if you see better pitches and you have the power that Hicks has, eventually they're going to go out of the park.
Full count from Carlos Rodon, who has just been outstanding. That slider has been virtually unhittable for him.
Hicks actually is a better hitter with a little more power from the right side, although the batting average is higher left-handed.
Hicks hits it well right field. Avi has it tracked, though, and he makes the catch just short of the wall for round number 1. The Yankees disabled list looks like an American League All-Star team.
When you take a look at the top 3, you realize it's a whole lot of their offense, and then Aroldis Chapman is the back end of the bullpen. Jacoby Ellsbury, normally a pretty solid player, although the last few years he's had all kinds of injuries. But those top 3 guys, when they get them back, this is going to be a difficult ball club to contend with.
It seems like every couple of weeks it fluctuates who you feel like is playing the best ball in the American League, which leads to what should be an extremely enjoyable playoff year in the AL as Sanchez makes the pick and cannons it over to first for round number 2. I don't know who to pick in the American League. You think Boston, but they got swept by the Rays.
Well, if Chris Sale is healthy, where they can use him in the first game of the playoff, Boston looks awfully tough because the guys behind him are still very good pitchers. They do have Kimbrel at the end. They don't have to worry about getting him back from injury like the Yankees do with Chapman. But look, the Indians, you know, you got to face a couple of their big boys. Let's assume that Trevor Bauer is back. You got to go Kluber and Bauer, and you're playing a short series. Even if Carrasco doesn't get to the mound, you could be down 2-0 and Carrasco then puts you away. I mean, that could be a very short series. Whoever plays the Indians, and if they're a one-and-done team, which they undoubtedly won't because they're going to win their division by plenty, but if they were, facing Kluber in the first round would be very difficult.
Could be disastrous.
Yep.
For a team that won north of 90 games as Omar makes the catch in foul territory, and we have no base runners so far after 1 in New York. Yankee Stadium. A notable buzz around here as some Sox folks are taking in tonight's affair. So glad to have you along wherever you might be as Daniel Polka gets his first feel for Yankee Stadium.
He's going to like 314 down the right field line, but it really doesn't matter if he gets a hold of it.
If he keeps hitting ground balls to the wall, he's going to show up on a lot more people's radar in his very early stages of his major league career. On the ground, Voit at first, feeds to Tanaka, and one away. Flash sale alert. Join us for the upcoming Boston and Detroit series, August 30th through September 5th. Get a lower box ticket for just $30 and have your first snack or drink on us with $15 to spend in the park. Upper level tickets are also available. Visit whitesox.com/flash sale for your tickets today. Go hang out in section 108 wherever you might decide to go. Have a little fun at the ballpark before the end of the season.
There's some pretty good attractions still left. Boston comes to town for a huge 4-game series, and that should be wildly entertaining as the Sox try to disrupt the Red Sox plans of winning the East.
Sox are going to have a lot to say about the American League East in the next 7 days. 3 against the Yankees, 4 with Boston.
The Cubs come to town. The Indians come to town, although their series, which is the last home series of the year, probably is not going to mean a great deal to them. The Cubs series has a chance to mean a great deal to them, and it's over the weekend, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of September.
We're at the point now with the Sox where you start to see the signs of what the starting rotation is going to look like in the future. We were talking about it during the break. The Carlos Rodon stuff has been electric, and Don Cooper is starting to see the formation of this rotation in the coming years. To shortstop for round number 2. Torres throws him out.
You can't predict injuries. You never really know. So let's assume that everybody stays healthy and look at the prospects of this rotation. Yet Carlos Rodon has got top of the rotation stuff, so he's going to be a 1 or 2 regardless of who comes along. And then you got Lucas Giolito throwing the ball as well as you can throw it. I mean, for a team that's 28 games under 500, Lucas is 10-9. I know the ERA is up there, but to win 10 games at this point, you still have to be doing a pretty good job of it, and he's certainly in the mix. Lopez also in the mix. Somewhere down the road, and we don't know how quickly it's going to be because he is a very young pitcher, but Dylan Cease will move into this rotation assuming all is healthy. He's got great stuff.
Omar Narvaez, who catches all those pitchers we were talking about, on his way to second base. Walker's got a shot at him, but the throw is late, and Omar, the first base runner in this game, doubles to right.
Omar's just been toasting the baseball. There's a fastball, and believe me, Tanaka didn't want to throw a hittable fastball, but he figures, okay, I'll sneak ahead. Maybe he'll be taking it. I know he's got a good eye, so let him take this one, and then I'll wipe him out with either my slider or my splitter. Of course, it didn't get to that, as we know, wound up in right field, but that's what Omar's been doing a lot of lately.
He's got the best batting average in baseball since June the 7th. Not of catchers.
Yeah, I mean, it's astonishing to me.
Of anybody.
Really, seeing what we saw at the beginning of the year and a lot of last year, it's just amazing how he's just turned on the switch.
Well, and what's really interesting is the Sox have talked to Yoan Moncada about being swing first, take second, being less passive at the plate, especially late in counts. Omar has taken that to heart, and he's been not only a command of the strike zone guy, but he's been a dangerous extra base hit potential guy.
Okay, so there's a double-edged sword here, and that is if you view yourself as a player with a very good eye. Omar has a good eye, Yoan has a very good eye. But the problem is, if you have a good eye, you have a tendency to get deep in the count because you're trying to swing at the perfect pitch, and more times than not, if you get deep in the count and then the pitcher makes one of his pitcher's pitches to you, he wipes you out. Better to jump on the first ball fastball if you get a shot at it.
That's strike 3. He went to the splitter and punches out Moncada, leaving Narvaez at second base. No score after 1.5. Eloy Jimenez with an RBI triple in inning number 1. He's got a 6-game hit streak. In 4 of those, he's got at least 2 hits. In 3 of those, he has at least 3 hits. And the International League is going to send a helicopter to get him out of there very, very soon.
All he did was go 3 for 4. I mean, drove in 3, triple and a double. Seems to be just starting to come into his own.
Yeah. And everybody else's own.
If he gets any better, he's going to be hitting 400 here pretty soon.
One other note from Charlotte from AAA. Congratulations to the longtime voice of the Charlotte Knights, Matt Swirad, who's been there for a long time. Just did his 3,000th game for AAA Charlotte. A very nice man, always extremely hospitable when I was down in the International League. And congratulations to Matt.
That's very nice. 3,000 games. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is a lengthy career. One of the true good guys in the IL. 2-0 for Luke Voit, who played hero for the Yankees yesterday with a 2-run homer in the 2nd inning against Baltimore in what sounded like a Yankees home game from the highlights we saw from that series.
Yeah, I don't think there were too many folks there rooting for the O's in that game. And here's where you have to be careful, because Voit has tremendous power and has gotten his opportunity to play, lifetime minor leaguer, and making the most of that opportunity.
Tried to unload on that fastball. That was middle. He came over for Chasen Shreve and Giovanni Gallegos. Shreve an added arm for the Cardinals. That trade just a couple of days before the end of July. 3-2 from Carlos. Voit tags it. Left center field, but playable. Adam Engel for out number 1. Your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your home team throughout the season and the official mortgage provider of the Chicago White Sox. Get started today at rate.com. So ESPN is here. They're doing a telecast of this game as well. And with Adam Engel making that catch, it reminds me that Yolmer Sanchez, before the game, some of the folks from over at ESPN were talking to Sanchez, and they had him describe the guys in the White Sox lineup. And they got to Adam Engel, and Yolmer said, talk to some of the Yankees they're only hitting the ball to left or right field in this series because Adams stole 2 homers from him in the series at guaranteed rate field. So no hitting the ball to center today for the Yankees was the scouting report.
It's a good scouting report. Voit didn't hear it, unfortunately for him, but good scouting report.
Well, he's relatively new to the lineup,
That's
so
true.
maybe didn't get the memo. As no swing, says Pat Hoberg over at first.
Torres on the brink of his 20th home run. And with Andujar already hitting his 20th home run. In fact, he has 21 of them. They've never had 2 rookies hitting 20 home runs in the same year.
They're gonna at some point.
It's going to be this year, and it's going to be in the not too distant future. Because Gleyber Torres can really hit, as can Miguel Andujar.
Torres, the 19 home runs are in 92 games.
I mean, it's been remarkable.
3-1. That's inside. Tried to sneak it in and under the arms for a strike and didn't get it. So Torres is on as we take a look at the leaders in wins above replacement at second base in the American League. Jed Lowry having a marvelous year. Then Altuve, who's been injured. And then Torres and Moncada over 1, still with a month to go. Gleyber Torres and Michael Kopech actually spent a couple minutes together before the game, chatting out on the field.
Well, there's a good chance those two are going to hook up a lot as their careers move along.
Oh, 1. Stuffed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Neil Walker, the 32-year-old veteran.
Despite not having a whole lot of speed, and Walker doesn't have a whole lot of speed these days, he's only grounded into 3 double plays. That's pretty amazing. That's in 290 at bats.
He's a former first-round pick in 2004. He was 11th overall 14 years ago. Philip Umber to the Mets 8 picks prior. Runners off, ball in the dirt, no chance to cut down Torres, who swipes second base.
Picked a good pitch to run, and there was no way that Omar could possibly corral this one. He buries it, and it gets away. That's just the 5th stolen base of the year for Torres.
And a Yankee team that does not run much at all. That's 54 steals at the end of August, 23rd in baseball.
When they're entirely healthy, they've just got bombers. You don't want to run ahead of these guys. I mean, this lineup is tough enough, but when you add Gregorius and you add Sanchez and you add Judge to this lineup, it's something. And Judge has yet to swing a bat. They were talking about that before the game, and he's starting to simulate at least some baseball activities, although if he can't swing a bat, quite obviously that's what he does best.
That is one of those baseball activities.
Yeah, you need to be able to do that for some time, so there is no time frame to when he returns.
And this guy, he doesn't have the name of Aaron Judge in baseball, but Didi Gregorius has quietly, maybe the last 2 years, been such an important part of this offense.
22 and 74, pretty good. Plus, from the left side, he gives them a little balance because most of their bangers are right-handed.
Fouled away right side. Walker will see an 8th pitch.
They thought Bird would give them that left-handed balance they needed in this lineup, but he's come back, played 73 games, hitting just 199, and he's given way to Voit, who actually started against Dylan Bundy, which was quite a move at that point for Aaron Boone, because he took his left-hander out of the lineup to get the righty-righty advantage, and Voit hit a 2-run homer against Dylan Bundy.
First year skipper both here and in Boston, leading the charge for the American League East finish line. On 2-2, did he get inside enough? The answer is yes. Angles underneath, and Torres does not run. 2 down.
.399 to left center field. That is a blast. So a lot of room to cover. Random angle in center field. The alleys are spacious. The place is very shallow as Adam looks over defensively where they want to play.
Here is the catcher Kyle Higashioka getting more run with the injury to Gary Sanchez. Left side, Anderson on the backhand, so improved that way, and he gets it there on a hop for out number 3. The evolution of number 7 continues. Near third base this time. We saw the jump throw earlier this year. Now a soft landing on the way to Davidson. Up, Butte.
The 300th texter is going to win a $30 gift card. Subway, so much sandwich.
So it looked like the Yankees might have a rally brewing in the bottom of the second inning, but Tim Anderson decided to get in the way of that, and the marked improvement of the White Sox shortstop is something you can't dodge if you've watched the entirety of this season.
He actually looks like a different guy out there than the guy that played the first 2 months, because the guy that played the first 2 months was having some difficulties defensively, especially to the backhand. But I talked with Tim last night about that. He said he is developing a lot more confidence. He says he goes out there every day. He has complete confidence that he can make every play and will make every play. And it really shows in the field because the game seems to have slowed down for him. He had a pretty good idea that it was a catcher running, and that's why he went to first base. He did have a play at third base. It was a bad base running play going to third.
Well,
because usually it leaves you, that's the only play that you have.
right.
But with a catcher running, he decided to go to first, and he got him by plenty. But when a runner runs on a play in front of him like that, it's never a good idea.
Ball and 2 strikes on Delmonico. And there's strike 3. The splitter working tonight for Tanaka. Sox fans, join us for Halfway to St. Patrick's Day coming up Saturday, September 8th, 6:10 p.m. Sox take on the Angels. First 10,000 fans 21 and over get a White Sox snapback hat presented by Goose Island Beer Company. Goose Island, Chicago's beer. Get your tickets today at whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME.
One suggestion for Adam: if he got a fastball early in the count, swing at it, because that splitter is unhittable tonight.
Well, there's strike one, and it wasn't a fastball.
No, that was a slider. He shaved off the outside corner. So not swinging at that is a good thing, because that's a pitcher's pitch. Now he wants a high fastball. Let's see if he gets it up there.
That was actually on the corner, but the reach from Higashioka negated it.
Many times when you set up inside and you have to reach across the plate, you're not going to get the benefit of the call, in this case from Mark Carlson.
So if the catcher's reception of the ball matters so much to the strike zone, why not just say the strike zone is where the ball is caught, rather than where it crosses the plate?
Well, you could certainly say that.
Yeah.
Except guys can make the ball move so much that, number one, on a curveball, especially away, you'd never get a called strike because it can come over the plate, but the catcher's going to catch it 6-8 inches outside. That would never be a strike, so you take that out of the equation. Then guys that can make it move the other way, throwing it at the right hip of the left-hand hitter. Again, it comes right at you, and then the catcher catches it. That is in the zone, but the hitter can't hit it if it comes far enough inside. That would be an unhittable pitch that would be called a strike also. So outside of that, it's a good idea.
Well, I thought you might love it.
I do.
It would help the pitchers.
Not
That's why I lobbed it to you.
Yeah, you can't. No, you can't do that. You want to make it fair, but lean toward the pitcher's side.
To left field on a line and foul. Of the suggestions I propose for baseball rule changes, what percent do you think I actually believe in?
I like ice cream in the fourth.
Yeah.
Ice cream in the fourth inning.
That should be statutory.
I think that's a good one. Yeah, that one I like.
Yeah.
Other than that, well, I'd have to think back.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Adam wraps it to third. That's a fair ball, and Duhar didn't get him. Engel safe using the speed down the line.
I don't think Duhar had any idea how fast Adam Engel was. If he did, he'd have played that a little differently, because there wasn't a sense of urgency as he came on to get it. Also, he didn't really hump up on the throw. The throw was a casual throw over there. So he makes the play. That part's nice. And then a nice casual throw over across. He doesn't get it there in time because Adam has great speed. So he's aboard.
I think he got handcuffed a little bit on the catch.
Yeah, he did.
So Engel at first, 1 out. And Yolmer Sanchez, the batter, after grounding out in the first. Yankees are 19-5 against the AL Central this year, using the Sox division as a trampoline in the American League East.
Well, they still have 6 games left with the Red Sox. They realize, regardless of what happens, those 6 games are their safety net. They don't want, however, to have to sweep them, because you're talking about 2 series, including the last 3 games of this year against Boston. If you're stuck with having to sweep all 6, your odds are very slim.
Yep.
But if you can get there by winning 4 of 6, you're actually in pretty decent shape.
Yeah, you go in 2 back, you go 4-2. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Bob's your uncle.
He is?
Only in the phrase.
Oh, because I had an Uncle Harry. A little closer, I think, than Adam would have wanted, as he calls timeout. Pat Hoberg. We'll watch it again. He's not going to get him, but if the throw's on the bag, it's going to be very close. That throw was right in the middle of Voit.
First pitch to Yolmer. And he glides through strike 1. Sanchez, who gets his own T-shirt coming up in the homestand. Yolmer, who will find a new target for a Gatorade bucket during the next Sox walk-off. Has his own shirt coming of himself with the Gatorade. And here's what it looks like. Keep it fun, says Yolmer Sanchez. In fact, now he's just signing Yolmer. He's like Madonna.
If you wanted to get one of those, how could you do that?
You could do it coming up on Thursday at Guaranteed Rate Field.
That was one of the tweets today. Caitlin wanted to know in an audio tweet. She can't win Sox math. How can she get a Yolmer shirt giveaway? All you got to do is beat the game on Thursday.
Yeah, come to the ballpark.
And then you'll get one. And they're good looking shirts, by the way.
On T-shirt days, you know, first 10,000, first 20,000, you got a way better shot. Sox math, you have to be the first one.
Right. So, Caitlin, that's it. Come to the ballpark Thursday. That'll be our return, our triumphant return, hopefully.
Bloop left side. Not a lot of foul ground here.
Well, that's one of the advantages. If you always have yourself a very good hitting team, and the Yankees seemingly always do have a pretty good hitting team, you want to have as little ground as you can in foul territory because you want the at bat to stay alive. And this new edition of Yankee Stadium certainly fills that bill.
Angle runs. That's strike three. Throw down to second by Higashioka. Adams says he was safe. They're going to take a look at it. It's either a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the inning, or runner at second, 2 down.
We'll take another look at it. Brian Knight on the call. Adam thought he had the foot in. Looks to me like he did. The tag was on the knee. The foot was on the bag, it appeared. And Adam did not come off the bag. Now he's in there.
Yeah, this inning will stay alive, I think.
Yep, I believe it will.
I'm with you.
Adam thought he was safe. Ricky Renteria wants him to take a look at it. They don't have to make a long distance call. We're already in New York. They can come and tell him in person if they want.
Just go walk over to Chelsea Pier.
Yeah. Hey, what is it? Okay, it's this.
There you go.
Keep on playing. There's one out to go.
I'm actually working on a tour of the replay facility, so maybe I can report back exactly what they saw on this very play. Now that one makes me question it. What do you think? Still safe?
I like the first angle better.
I see. I like that angle even more.
That angle?
The previous angle.
Let's watch it again. Watch the front foot.
See, did he get him on that first swipe or not is the question.
Well, it appeared that Torres didn't think he got him on the first swipe because he went back again. Usually what you want your fielders to do is take one swipe. Get him or don't get him, take one swipe and convince the umpire that you did indeed get him. Now, granted, that was largely before replay where you took a look at it, but you know, we'll see how it plays out. It could very well be one of these plays that it will be called exactly as it was called on the field because there is not definitive proof to overturn the call.
Yeah, it very well could be call stands in this case. They're taking a look here in the city that never sleeps. And so the question is, will it be the end of the inning or will it be runner at second and 2 out? Angle immediately, based on what he felt, based on the tactile feeling of the glove on his leg, didn't think he was tagged. Now you can't use that as evidence certainly, but we'll see what the umpiring crew comes away with from that discussion. It is out at second base. Ricky Renteria obviously disagrees because he went with using the challenge. Adam does as well, but that's all for the top of the third.
Sponsored by UI Health, providing expert care for you and your family. UI Health, changing medicine for good. Learn more at uihealth.care.
So Carlos Rodon will face Torreyes, Robinson, and Hicks. By the way, the replay facility is in Chelsea Market, not Chelsea Pier. So
now when I go there,
yeah, you had your trip already booked.
It was there
3 minutes ago, and now you decided, well,
I can't do it.
Change the hotel reservation.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's tough. So Carlos, 1 walk, no hit so far. And there's a strike. His command has been different the past month and a half, wouldn't you say?
That comes with confidence. It comes with arm strength. It comes with all of the things that you don't have when you don't have a spring training. And that's the reason why the start was shaky this year, because he had no spring training. So by the time he got in his 5 starts, that would be the normal spring training type regimen with a lot of throwing in between. He started to come alive with all of his stuff.
To right field, Avi was playing toward the line. He's not going to get there. Torreyes sprinting to second, turning the corner, and the throw goes bounding to the infield. It's a triple for Torreyes.
The inability to hit a cutoff man is going to lose you 90 feet just about each and every time. They had a good shot at Torreyes at third base. Unfortunately, didn't get him. Avi was very shallow. This ball airmailed him. And then some difficulty. He overthrew the first one. It got by the second cutoff, and as it rolled around on the Adam Engel throw, Torreyes into third base.
Boy, you're right. They had a great shot at him at third base.
I thought that he was taking a huge gamble, but it paid off.
Omar just got spun around. Don't want to see that. Herm Schneider says clear a path.
Waiting to see if Omar is going to look over toward him. That was off the tip of the shoulder, and even with that little pad that they have there, that still will get your attention.
You catch a nerve there and don't have any feeling.
No, that's not too good. But catchers are tough guys, and if they weren't tough guys, they wouldn't be back there.
Torreyes at third, Robinson with the infield in, and Carlos comes right after him. .163 for Robinson, a stopgap in the outfield. Oh, 0-2. On the ground at third, Sanchez goes across the diamond, has the out and the arm strength to keep Torreyes at third.
It's exactly what you're trying to do. Get a ground ball, and hopefully it'll be one of your infielders that all 4 were in. No chance for Torreyes to do anything except look at Yolmer make the play, and then hope that Hicks can get the job done.
28-year-old center fielder Aaron Hicks. There's that fastball inside to right-handers, and when Carlos is spotting that, it makes him extra tough.
Well, the reason being that his slider a lot of times will identify as a fastball when it leaves his hand. And if he's already established he can get it inside, he's in pretty good shape. And now he's in good shape, ahead 0-2. So now it is a bit of a conundrum for both Narvaez and Rodon. You know that the wipeout slider gets him out of this at bat. However, the best slider is in the dirt, and you want to make sure that this one does not get by. So if Omar calls it, he's got to be ready to smother it, or wild pitch number 4 would be forthcoming.
That was a fastball toward the outside corner, and Hicks tried to pounce. So if you're looking at a sacrifice fly situation, that's where the Yankees would have to hit it based on arm strength and the speed of the runner. The Yankees, though, better than 50% of the time, runner at third and less than 2 out, get that run home. This is a situation they have been built for this year. On the ground, throw coming home, and they have him. He is out. Torres cut down by Anderson. And a great reaction to come to the plate by Tim.
There's a lot of pressure on this play because Tim knows he's got to catch it on the short hop and then throw it. So it's a do or die play. If this one skips under the glove or takes a bad hop, you're not going to get it because he's coming in and trying to smother it. So he smothers it with one hand, gets a throw off. The throw's a good one, and they cut him down at the plate. Terrific play by Tim Anderson. Probably would not have made that play in April and May, but these days he's catching everything. He not only made it, he made a good solid strike of a throw.
So when you take the 2 plays that Tim's made in the field in this game, it speaks to what Joe McEwing was talking about before this game down in the dugout. He said, look, from any arm angle, Tim Anderson feels comfortable now. He's willing to make a throw on the go and not only do it, but do it decisively and go to the right arm angle at the moment he needs to throw it, rather than thinking about the play and then coming up with something later than having to rush.
Well, Tim's instincts are good, and lately they've gotten better because he's got more confidence, and Joe McEwing has worked with him tirelessly. I mean, he's put in hour after hour shoring up the defense.
That high fastball eludes Narvaez. Hicks to second base on what you'd imagine is a wild pitch.
Unfortunately, the man cut down at the plate. Means there are no scoring for the moment.
Do have the runner going on contact, though. To most places, at the very least. 2-2 on Giancarlo Stanton, who's a home run shy of 300 for his career. Most of that spent in Miami with the Marlins. 2-2. He got him, strike 3. Rodon aces Stanton. Good time for your first strikeout, Carlos, and we'll go to the 4th inning thanks in part to Tim. but the Sox defense showing up.
Our high-speed replay is powered by Xfinity. It's 5-3, and then it's a terrific play, a 6-2 put out. Cutting down Torres at the plate, and then the backdoor slider freezes Stanton, and it's out of the inning. Runner at third, nobody out. Carlos gets out unscathed.
Boy, that backdoor slider has been lethal for him in a couple of recent starts.
Yeah, I mean, if you can freeze Stanton, you're doing a pretty good job of it, because he can hit it a long way, and he gave up on it.
Tim Anderson deep to right field. Walker back at the wall, and it's off the base of the fence. So Anderson once again flashing some opposite field muscle, and it's a leadoff double in the fourth.
No chance at all for Walker as he went across, but realized this one was hit a little harder than he expected. And this one hopped the scoreboard. There's a slider. Tim stays right with it. That's a good piece of hitting, because that's not an easy pitch to hit. He takes it the opposite way. No chance at all for Walker. And a promising start to the fourth inning.
That after 5 strikeouts in the first 3 innings from Masahiro Tanaka. Sox have 2 doubles and a single. No walks so far into the fourth. Avi takes ball 1. Tanaka, in his first 3 starts with the Yankees, struck out 28, breaking Al Leiter's then record of 25. He was a phenom when he first showed up.
They gave him a whole lot of money, and he paid some dividends, because not a whole lot of people have seen the likes of that splitter, which he uses quite a bit and gets it over the plate.
What makes a good splitter a good splitter?
The late movement, the fact that it can go straight down after looking like a fastball for a long period of time. Ideally, you'd like it to travel about 58 feet or so, and then drop to the catcher. That's ideally. Sometimes it drops a little sooner, sometimes a little later. The ones that drop later usually get hit. But the one thing that Tanaka does, because he is around the plate a lot, he's at 124 innings, and he's only walked 30.
Yeah.
And if you're around the plate that much, you're going to give up a lot of home runs, whether it's this park or any other park. He's given up 23. He leads the Yankee staff in that department. Happ has given up 21, but most of those are with Toronto. He is, however, 5-0 since donning that Yankee jersey. 5-0 for Jay Happ.
One, 2 on the ground at third, and Duhar double clutch. He's late again. The Sox have 2 infield singles to third, and Duhar one more time did not give it the A+ arm and A+ timing, so the Sox have another runner on.
And Duhar probably didn't pay much attention to the fact that at guaranteed rate field, the White Sox hustle each and every play. And if you do that, you're going to beat out a lot of these. And Avi, who hustles all the time, able to beat this play. He doesn't take anything for granted. He hustles down there and he gets himself a base hit.
So Andujar twice now victimized. Angle, then Garcia, and here's Daniel Palka in a scoreless tie for now. Tanaka feeds him ball 1, a splitter.
That's really what you hope for. You hope he throws a splitter on the first pitch and misses with it, because then eventually in the next couple you're probably going to see that fastball.
That one hung around in the zone.
Threw
1-1.
him a slider right down the middle. That was a very hittable slider, but Daniel couldn't make full contact. He was able to just foul it off. You see it right down the middle of the plate. Not doing a whole lot, but he effectively got the strike.
Anderson at second, Garcia at first. And Daniel has it come up and in to hit him. And now the bases are loaded.
Higashioka comes out when Daniel takes a look at Tanaka. He gets him off what appeared to be the left hand.
At the underside of the hand, it looked like.
Daniel wasn't particularly happy, and Higashioka got in between them in case he decided he was going to take a little further than just the long stare down on the way to first base. But nothing happened except the bases are now loaded and nobody out.
A plumb spot for Matt Davidson, who bounced out to shortstop his first time. The only infielder playing in right now is Voigt at first. As that's a called strike one. He went on the outside corner for the first strike, now twice to Matt. Oh and 1. Two strikes to Davidson, who spent a portion of the pregame, as he told us, we thought jokingly, in Minnesota, but he was serious, barefoot in the outfield grass, reintegrating with the grass before the game.
Sometimes you got to do that.
You got to do earthing.
Yes. Sometimes. Not necessarily this time, but sometimes.
0-2, Tanaka to Davidson. He struck him out.
Tanaka goes to the hard slider and puts the at bat away.
So one out for Omar, who smoked a ball to right field his first time up for the first hit in this game. Left field side, a laser that's foul. Look, he'll go up there first pitch swinging now. It's not a patterned at bat that you're getting from Narvaez.
Well, he got his fastball, only this was a perfect one. This one was just low and away, so the only thing you could do was foul it off to the left. But after a first ball fastball that yielded a double last time, he got another fastball and got the bat on it, but couldn't keep it between the lines.
Bases loaded, one out. Tanaka to Narvaez. Strike two, pinpoint. So he hits Palka to load the bases. Now he's thrown 5 straight strikes. Fans were working up quite an applause lather. They're going to have to reset. Tanaka agrees with Higashioka, and the 0-2 to Narvaez is short of the plate.
Good technique by Higashioka as he blocked one in the dirt. Didn't try to catch it, just used his chest protector, angled it down. That's one of the keys. Keep your body angled forward. If you do that, it's going to drop right in front of your feet. That's exactly what happened. Elbows in, leaning forward, great technique.
Anderson at third, Garcia at second, Polka at first. Big series for the Yankees in the AL East. On 1 and 2. That's taken for ball 2 if they want that to be a strike.
The umps in the stands wanted it, but this was a good 3-4 inches off the outside corner. Not even a difficult call for Mark Carlson.
If that's a strike, I got a Triborough and a Verrazano to sell you.
That's a strike nobody's going to hit.
And now Higashioka uses one of his 6 meetings at the mound to talk to Tanaka. Two balls, 2 strikes. Pitch number 55 tonight for Masahiro Tanaka. He struck him out.
Tough man to fan is Omar. However, this ball just drops low and in, and he swings over the top. Another nice stop by Higashioka.
That's got to look like a fastball, right? Coming out of his hand.
Looks like a fastball till the last instant, then just explodes straight down.
7 strikeouts for Tanaka. It's up to the bases loaded RBI factory, Yoan Moncada. Strike 1 called. With some of the stuff he's seen this year, Yoan's internal strike zone computer has got to be blue screening sometimes. Oh and 1. That's outside.
You can afford to take it on the first pitch, but many times Yoan, who's got a very good eye, decides to take one a little bit off the plate. When he has 2 strikes, that's when he gets called out a lot.
It was a double for Anderson, an infield single for Garcia, and a Polka hit by pitch. Then 2 strikeouts. And 2 down for Moncada. On the ground, up the middle, pinging for out number 3. Bases left loaded. Tanaka navigates a minefield in the 4th.
or follow him on social media, because Nationwide is on your side.
Well, that's good to know. Around Major League Baseball, most consecutive games with a home run. Kendrys Morales at 7 right now. That streak is still in progress, but he's 0 for 2 tonight. So we'll see if Junior, Mattingly, and left-handed catcher Dale Long have any company by the end of this evening. By the way, Kevin mentioned his giant skull on the list.
Yeah, unfortunately, with that kind of accomplishment, he didn't get a big hit, but
he already had it.
Yeah, substantial cranium to begin with.
He is on the Bochy list.
He's one of those.
Of, let's say, custom-made hats. Carlos Rodon for ball number 1 to Andujar, who the AAA coaching staff in Scranton Wilkes-Barre worked with last year to try to make him a little bit less of a free swinger out of the zone and make sure he sized up the pitch that was his to hit, as Carlos is all over the edges and not getting either of them. It's been a more generous zone in and out than up and down in this game. That might have been an angry third pitch, you think?
Yeah, I think he was a little dismayed that he didn't get one of the 2 first pitches. They both appeared to have at least a piece of the strike zone. He only walked 1 tonight, but he's on the verge of number 2.
There it is. Leadoff walk. And here is your Sox math question. It's brought to you by your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional deals. Number of runs the Sox scored the last 3 days in Detroit, plus innings Kopech's thrown in 2 starts, minus the month corresponding to Carlos Rodon's first 2018 start, multiplied by Tim Anderson's jersey number. That's your question. Hashtag SoxMath. First correct answer wins a prize from the road. Here's a hint. It was in Boston. Here's another hint. Tim's wearing that jersey tonight. Right field side, twisting out of play for Voit, and Michael Kopech, who yesterday it seemed like didn't have his #1 stuff and still found his way through 6 one-run innings.
Normally when the stuff is good, he's going to fan more than 4. That's what he did in 6 innings. And when you only give up 1 run on 7 hits in 6 innings on the road, you're getting it done. So it shows you just how good the young man is going to be if he can throw with less than his best and win his first major league game.
Only threw 6 changeups, so most of his 86 pitches were fastball, slider. He did that all with just 2 pitches, basically. Throw to first, and Andujar protecting himself.
Andujar doesn't run very often. A couple of stolen bases in 3 attempts.
Yankees had a great chance to score with a leadoff triple in the 3rd, but couldn't do it. And now Carlos is high with that fastball, 2-1. Carlos still allergic to the top button on his jersey. That's been a trademark of his 2018. Inside, almost hit him, and Voit saved Carlos a base by spinning out of the way. There is a look at the jersey.
We'll take another look. That one did not get him, but it came awfully close. Might have singed the hair off his forearm.
Carlos and Voit having a discussion about it. Maybe it's that Carlos likes his look so much with the top button unbuttoned, he was trying to shave off one of Voigt's buttons.
Well, usually it goes like this. You throw one that far inside, and the hitter appears to be lobbying that it hit him. Many times the pitcher will just yell in, "If I hit you, you would know it."
Carlos looked like he was a little bit nicer than you were there. Just inferring based on the pictures. Yeah, this is the chill look from both pitcher and hitter. Thought it was a little warm for a sweater tonight. 3-2 on Voit with Andujar at first. And a budding ace in Carlos Rodon on the mound. In the air, right field to Mercury and back. Hey, enjoy White Sox baseball from the comforts of the Guaranteed Rate Club. It's the ultimate all-inclusive White Sox experience. Entertain your most important clients, employees, friends, or family. It's available for season ticket packages or individual games. 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com/premium seating. You got to do that at least once. Treat yourself. Go to the Guaranteed Rate Club. They have great dessert. Don't eat too much food until the dessert comes. That's the tip we have for you.
Great food, though. I mean, great food. And a beautiful place to watch a game.
Great sight lines, great people. Steve will show up sometimes to
ease your transition into the next course.
Guzzle down some food. Center field. Angle. Back at the wall. He's not going to have a chance to rob this one. Net bound from Gleyber Torres. And there is number 20.
Give you an idea just how strong he is. 20 and 58 on the power numbers. Yankees ahead 2-0, and that was a bomb. Straight away center field, just to the right. Probably went 420, 430 feet. Looked like a changeup. And he was not fooled. He stayed back. You keep your hands back on that, you can hit it a long way, and he was able to do both.
And now a bunt stabbed at. That's a strike for Walker. ...20 home runs in 93 games for Gleyber Torres.
Been an amazing run for a very talented young man. With an emphasis on young man.
21. Yankees lead the league with 212 home runs this year. And as you said, even with this current lineup, with all the power on the shelf, they can still bomb them out of here.
Current lineup is one that can score some runs against you. Their regular lineup is frightening. When they've got those three bangers coming back in the lineup, we're talking about Sanchez, Judge, and Gregorius. You're talking about three guys that are a threat each and every time to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
And if you're the manager, you can blow bubblegum bubbles every once in a while and just let the offense do what it does.
Well, Gregorius with 22 home runs, Judge with 26 home runs.
Carlos thought it was strike three, didn't get it. And that's not to say Aaron Boone just kind of stands there while the offense does what it does, but there's not a whole lot offensively that you have to think about doing in game with this type of lineup.
No, plus Sanchez in just 66 games has hit 14.
Yeah.
So you get him on a prorated basis for a full season, and he's going to be in the 30s.
Tim's got it, and he collects out number 2. This place has been not so fun for the Sox. New Yankee Stadium, 30 games. Sox are 8-22 here.
That's not good. But you can understand that when you're averaging 3.3 runs per game and the Yankees are averaging 5.3, plus the batting average with runners in scoring position, the bullpen, and the errors. Of course, Sox are last in the league defensively, and that's one of the areas they have got to shore up if they are indeed going to make a run at it, and they plan to do just that in the coming years.
Part of the reason the Sox have struggled here too is that the Yankees are on now 26 consecutive winning seasons.
Yeah, they've been pretty good.
Last time the Yankees had a losing season, it was 1992. They went 76 and 86. Buck Showalter was the manager. Danny Tartabull was in right field.
That wasn't the reason, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was just a piece of evidence of how long ago it was.
That was who was there.
Yeah. Melito Perez was their best pitcher with a 2.87 ERA. Would you like the rest of the lineup too, or?
Sure.
You done with the 92 Yankees?
No, I mean, it sounds like just by a couple of guys you mentioned, they might be going 10 under 500.
Well, we're going to run out of time. Sad to say. Avi's there for out number 3. But Gleyber Torres hits a 2-run home run. First runs on the board go to the Yankees at 2-zip.
Card only available at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/White Sox to learn more. Wintrust Community Bank, member
FDIC.
That's it. They are a member of the FDIC.
And thank goodness for that.
Yep, it's a good thing.
Delmonico, Engel, and Sanchez coming up. And Masahiro Tanaka throws a strike on a rare breaking ball that's not a slider. The old curveball shows up.
Doesn't throw many of those, but trying to buy a strike on the first pitch, and it worked for him.
The bag of tricks is deep for Masahiro Tanaka. He'll cut the fastball every once in a while too. Two-run home run, Gleyber Torres, and that's the lead for the Yankees right now. Nicky's gotten a look at the splitter now from Tanaka, and he checks his swing. Boston is off tonight, so the Yankees with the win would be 5.5 back in the East. To left field, Robinson charging, still coming. He's there. And one gone in the 5th inning as we give you your Sox math answer for tonight. Your winner is Mike Ganella. It's brought to you by Audi. Sox scored 19 the last 3 days in Detroit, plus 8 innings for Kopech, 27 minus 6. June was Carlos Rodon's first start at Fenway Park. 21 times 7. Tim's jersey number is a $147, and Mike Ganella. The cream always rises to the top. Mike Ganella, a returning champion. Michael Kopech and Lucas Giolito discussing things from the White Sox dugout. And with so many 20-somethings, early 20-somethings, even Rodon, who's 25 years old, the Sox rotation looks like it is going to be formidable for quite some time, as Tanaka just got his first flyout of the game.
For him, that's actually very good, because when he's throwing fly balls, a few of them go out of the ballpark. So when he's throwing ground balls, he's at his best.
Oh, he got that strike. Higashioka pulled it back.
Completely different at bat than if you're 1-1. Then you're looking out at Tanaka at 2-0.
Now 2 balls and a strike on Engel, who's got at least 2 hits in 7 of his last 14 games.
Really been remarkable, whether it's studying the video of Dave Winfield or anything else that he and Todd Steverson have been working on. It's working.
Left side, there's another 2-hit game for Adam Engel. It's a 1-out single in the 5th. So 8 of his last 15, he's got at least 2 hits. 8 of his last 15, as the numbers say there.
There it is. He got his fastball, took it through the left side. And no chance at all for the combination of Andujar and Torres. So 2 for 2 for Adam Engel, who got thrown out stealing last time on a play that he disputed but was not overturned.
Well, Adam, for a couple minutes in the clubhouse before the game, he was looking for some bats that he had left somewhere. And he came down one corridor and he said, oh, I've been looking for those bats everywhere. Finally found them. He has metaphorically found his bats as well. And we told you, 8 of the last 15 games, he's got a multi-hit game. So nice for Debo and Adam to
get together and show us exactly what you were talking about.
Act that out for us. It was very nice.
Very nice.
Joe Group does a great job at building graphics for this telecast, but what he did to line up Adam Engel and Darryl Boston to have that graphic built was truly Emmy award-winning stuff.
Live graphic.
Yeah.
You can make a live graphic, you're usually in pretty good shape. Problem is, he'll get another 2-hit game before we get a first base coach that's number 9.
On the ground, second base, Torres for Torres, and he gets wiped clean by Adam Engel.
Slowly hit ball off the end of the bat. It was not going to be 2, but Adam Engel was making sure that Torres couldn't get the throw off just in case he thought about it. He hit him pretty good in the shin, by the way.
Adam did have a path to the base with his hand. And so no call of the double play for a bad slide. And also, because there was no throw, you could dispute that they could even make that call if they wanted to. We saw it a couple years ago with the Sox in Baltimore, that if you don't make that effort to throw to first, it's not actually a double play possibility, which you could debate that rule all you want.
Can make a case for, certainly. Bad slide seems to me to be a bad slide. That was not a bad slide, however.
We agree on that one, too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow. Symbiotic Monday. Anderson flies out to right. And Sanchez stranded at first. 2-0 Yankees. in Birmingham. Zach Collins, Sox former first-round pick, jacks another one to right field. To the bleachers it goes. So Zach Collins, a 2-run home run. He continues to build numbers. 2 steps away from the major leagues. 1 for 3 in that game over the Jackson Generals. So Collins for the season with now 15 home runs. On base percentage still near 400.
The home runs are good. The on base percentage for him is very good because he's got an excellent eye.
First pitch here fouled off by Torreyes, who tripled last time up. A big White Sox hello to Jennifer Bialik in Addison and Jason Boggs in Aurora. I will literally read anything on a paper.
Hold on, I'll write something out for you.
Check swing, ball, and a strike. No, they're wonderful people. And we say hello to Jennifer and Jason. A big White Sox hello.
Huge.
Carlos gets a check swing, and he didn't go.
Ned Hoberg says no, and it appeared that he did check it up. We'll take another look from the side. Yeah, he definitely did check it up, despite the appeal by Omar.
So he stays alive for this fly ball to center field. Hey, join us Saturday, September 1st. That's this Saturday. Sox and the Red Sox, 6:10 p.m. First 10,000 fans, 21 and over, get a White Sox adult onesie presented by Budweiser. Watch your Sox in ultimate comfort. White Sox fans, this Bud's for you. Get your tickets at whitesox.com today. If you've ever wanted to look like a White Sox kangaroo, this is your chance. I'm hopping down to the ballpark on Saturday. Right field, foul.
That one didn't miss by much, maybe 3-4 inches on the right side of the line. We'll take another look. Just foul.
So 1 strike on Robinson. He turns on this ball and whacks it foul left side.
That appeared to be his straight change that he just jumped on and yanked it well foul.
Changeup went for the home run tonight. And coming into play, Carlos had only seen opponents hit .237 against that changeup this year. So he goes back to the slider. So when you talk about hard hit balls, there's a stat called barrels, and it's the perfect launch angle and exit velocity, and you end up with a home run most times. So Carlos Rodon has the lowest barrel percentage in the American League coming into this game.
Well, that's why we've told you many times that he's got top of the rotation stuff. This stuff is just outstanding. It has been from the beginning. And now, more times than not, he's got good command of it, and he becomes doubly tough.
Got inside again, and this one twists to Delmonico for out number 2. So these are batted balls that led to 500 batting average, 1,500 slugging percentage in Major League Baseball coming into, that's what a barrel is, coming into this game, and Rodon has not given up many of those at all.
Strange to see Giovanni Gallardo on that list because his stuff is not even close to what it once was, but apparently it's good enough to keep guys off the sweet spot.
Yeah, moves late enough, yep, or just a little bit. Now that's not to say he's not getting hit hard, Gallardo, but there's this perfect magical spot that typically leads to something like a home run or extra base hit, and that's what a barrel is. 0-2 on Hicks. Former Minnesota Twin Aaron Hicks, who's now just 4 for 17 against the Sox this year. To third, Sanchez. We have a well-pitched game on our hands. The Yankees lead 2-0, but runs are at a premium. Those are true fans, by the way. They can't be related, right? I mean, Red Sox and Yankees don't live in the same family. They just couldn't be.
Well, we find through a little bird that flew into the booth that they happen to be related.
No way.
Yep. Way.
How could that be?
Well, just one of those great mysteries of life.
They were playing very nice, considering Red Sox Yankees. Avi, first pitch hunting, pops it up. And Duhar, get out of here. Torres makes the catch. One away. Enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. It's a very helpful app if you're at a new ballpark and you don't know where certain food items are. They have typically for each team listed the section where that food item is listed.
That's a great app.
Yeah.
They have free food on there?
They don't.
Oh, okay, well, just checking.
We see where your mind is. Carlos Rodon's better half. We saw her earlier very briefly. Ashley is here tweeting up a storm, I'm sure. Ashley does have one of the best Twitter bios in Major League Baseball. It says, I use Twitter every 5 days. Meaning when her man pitches. Well, taking a look at her Twitter account, she is tweeting up a storm. There's Bria Anderson as well, sitting with Ashley.
Someone just called Bria, I'm sure, to mention that she was on the air.
1-2 is off the plate.
Looked like Daniel might be a couple of inches further away from the plate this at bat, kind of inviting the ball away. When you move off the plate like that, you invite a fastball away, but at least that time didn't appear he was going to get it. This time it's the split.
Clip foul. Second part of the road trip here. Detroit was Players Weekend. Photo time. Lucas Giolito very pensive. Daniel Palka legitimately just lounging. Tim Anderson has enough sevens for all of us. And an all-around good time. Portion of the bat went away, and this ball is a rolling rawhide. An infield single for Daniel Palka. Exit velocity of 0.
He gave himself a little round of applause as he hits that off the end of the bat. He's going to need a new bat, but he'll take the base hit.
Officially 72 miles an hour on the exit velocity. If you were interested in the launch angle, what's wrong with you? But it is negative 27. One on, one out for Davidson. Boy, you got to love the guy that bruises the ball everywhere around the ballpark. Homers at 110 miles an hour. He's got 8 of them this year. 110 miles an hour or more in the home run column, and then that one just goes plodding through the third base grass.
Well, after a pitcher hits you, it's nice to aggravate him, and those kind of hits aggravate pitchers. So Daniel might have had that in mind.
Are you saying you got aggravated?
Just occasional.
I could never see that. You're always so jovial.
Yeah, but you never know when things just rile you when you're on that hill. However, that being said, you have to get your composure back and deal with each and every situation with as few emotions as you can dial up, because it distorts your perceptions. And when that happens on the mound, you make what I consider a mindless pitch.
Yeah.
That opens you up for defeat. The more times you open yourself up for defeat, the more earned runs you're going to give up and the more losses you will have.
But after you were done pitching, you decided to give that up.
Absolutely.
And now bad things have you. It's over.
That's it. You just go crazy.
2 balls and a strike on Davidson. Palka at first, 1 out. And Tanaka, who's given up 6 hits. On 2-1. Check swing, ball low. He didn't go. It's 3-1. So Tanaka, who's yet to walk anybody, is on the verge.
To a young pitcher, he might get a fastball here. I'm not thinking he's going to get one from Tanaka. If he does throw it, it's going to be away, low and away, however.
Ball 4. 2 on, 1 out, Narvaez. Aaron Boone running the gamut of in-game snacks. He was gum earlier. Seeds, it looks like now.
Not an easy job when you're the man charged with making the tough decisions in the course of a game.
And here in New York, you lose 2 in a row and your head's on a stake.
Yeah, it's ready. They're interviewing when you lose your 2nd in a row.
Narvaez. Ooh, called strike on a delayed call from the plate umpire, Mark Carlson.
Normally, if you don't think it's a strike when it crosses the plate, it's not a strike. That was not a strike when it crossed the plate, but quick movement of the glove for Higashioka got him the call.
Palka at second, Davidson at first. Check swing grounder, third base side. It's a fair ball, and Omar is safe out of the tag.
The foot of Tanaka slipped as he was going to make that throw. He'd have made the throw, it appeared, but when the foot slipped, he had to regroup, made it a little bit late, and he pulled Voigt off the bag. There you see the foot slip. By the time he got a chance to plant it, it pulled him off the bag, and he did not make the tag. So it is a base hit. The second little squibber up the left side. And Tanaka very fortunate he doesn't throw it away.
So bases loaded again for the Sox. They had this situation with nobody out in the fourth, didn't score. It was 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Now 1 out, bases loaded. Palka, Davidson, Narvaez. And Yoan, who had a chance last time with the bases loaded, faces Tanaka. On the ground and through. That's a base hit. Palka's home. Davidson on his way as this ball gets all the way to the warning track. And a stop sign at third for Narvaez. Moncada ties the game with a scorcher through the grass here in New York.
Goes as a 2-base hit. He hit it awfully hard the last time up with the bases loaded, only to see Torres right there in front of it, up the middle on the first base side of second. This time he hits it just a little bit to the right of that. And it finds its way through almost all the way to the wall. This ball is hit hard. And it's 53 driven in from Moncada. It ties the game. And Nick Capra waited as long as he could possibly wait to throw up the stop sign. He wanted to try to score Narvaez. Then he realized at the last instant that it was Narvaez and threw up the stop sign.
Well done by Nick. The infield in against Delmonico, who has a wide open left side. Omar at third, Moncada at second. Nicky takes ball 1. Well, the Sox offense without Jose Abreu somehow is cobbling together big innings.
That's 8 hits already, and it's just 5 1/3 innings. So they have not been mystified by Tanaka, despite the fact that they have fanned a few too many times. Larry Rothschild, pitching coach, has been around for a long time. Not with the Yankees, was with the Cubs for years.
Ricky Renteria's team 1 game over 500 since the All-Star break.
Like pretty decent baseball.
9-3 the last 12. 1-1 coming for Nicky. He hits it well in the air, left field. Robinson's underneath. Narvaez tags. He's on his way home, and the Sox take the lead. Delmonico got enough. The sac fly gets Narvaez to the plate, and it's 3-2 Sox.
20 runs batted in for Nicky. Sacrifice fly was certainly enough with the infield drawn in. You're looking to hit the ball in the air. He was able to do just that. And that is his first sacrifice fly of the year.
Well, the Yankees were a handful at Guaranteed Rate Field. They won all 3 games, sweeping the Sox by a total of 18-6, including that 13-inning middle game of the series. The Sox have a late lead tonight as Adam takes a strike, trying to build on a 2-for-2.
Tanaka's only thrown 88 pitches to this point. He has averaged right at 6 innings per start this year, and he's at 5 2/3 now.
Angle rips it to left field. Robinson makes the play. That was tailing away from him, and Robinson still hauled it in to take a 3rd hit from Adam, who squared it up pretty good. But the Sox get 3 runs on 3 hits. Could have been 4 in both columns, but Robinson wouldn't make it so.
Shane Robinson. What a play this is. Diving to his right. Takes it off the grass. Saves at least one more run. And of course, as is always the case, when you think of garages, think Danley's.
Of course. And when you're thinking about Adam Engel right now, in his season, the first couple of months, you look at a play like that and say, well, he should have been 1 for 4. Now he's going to end up 0 for 4. Instead, you've got a possible 3 for 3 going by the boards.
Turnabout is fair play. He has robbed his share, and Robinson just robbed him.
Strike 3 on a nasty breaking ball down and in, and 1 gone.
Aaron Boone was talking about what Giancarlo Stanton was going through these days. He's been stuck on 299 as far as home runs is concerned. Now, he says he doesn't think it's bothering him at all, but anytime you get to a milestone, you want to get there as quickly as you possibly can. You can view it as a coincidence that he stopped hitting after he got to 299, but there is a little something to that. Whatever the case, he is not hitting.
Popped up by Andujar. Narvaez for out number 2. The thing about that is every hitter trying to get to any milestone, when they get asked about it, they say, oh, no, it doesn't bother me at all. I'm just trying to play my game. And then like 5 years down the road, when somebody says, what was it like getting 3,000? They say, oh, on the way to the park every day I was thinking about it. Couldn't stop thinking about it. It was wearing on me. I was losing sleep. So I appreciate what Stanton says about that and what everybody says about that. But later on in life, it will be, oh, yeah, it was wearing on me.
It's certainly on your mind as you're sitting there looking at 299 in a home run column and knowing just one more gets you to a milestone that most people only dream about. Even if you played this game, 300 home runs is something that is very difficult to come by. And he's sitting there as a relatively young man with a chance to get a whole lot higher than that. And you got to get to 300 first.
But who's counting?
We all do.
It's true.
Yep.
1 and 2 on Voit, as Rodon has just 2 strikeouts in the game, 2 walks. The only runs allowed on the Gleyber Torres 2-run homer, who's on deck.
The Torres triple and the Torres 2-run homer, and that is it for hits.
Line foul, third base. almost onto the furniture down there. One-two to right field. Avi drifting. He's underneath and he makes the catch. 3 fly balls for Voit. 7th inning we go. Carlos has the lead in the Bronx.
Well, let's go places. J.D. Martinez is trying to go places, trying to win the Triple Crown. 2nd in home runs, 1st in batting average, 1st in runs batted in. All he does is has 110 already. That's pretty good. So Boston spent a long time figuring out they wanted J.D. Martinez. They did, and that's the reason why. Toyota, let's go places.
Triple Crown possibilities there.
Knocking at the door.
Yeah. Some people are down on the Triple Crown, and you would think that I would be, because we've had the conversation about RBIs.
Well, you're down on like every other stat. So
that is not true.
Yeah.
I just don't think pitcher wins and losses matter as much as they used to.
No, we're talking about Triple Crown here.
Right.
Right.
And so it's one of those things that should still be really fun to follow, even if you don't believe that RBIs are as reflective of future performance, because they depend on what your team's doing around you. It's still fun to follow.
Yes. However, also in the Triple Crown.
Line drive left field. Yolmer Sanchez on base 15 straight games, and he's going to get an extra base at the very least here, as Robinson, who made a beautiful diving catch last time he touched the ball, is now persona non grata here in this borough.
That is the life of baseball in the Bronx. You can make the greatest catch that anybody's ever seen, but if you miss the next one, they're going to boo you. That's just what happens here. And this one looked like a single. Robinson plays it into a double, and that is a huge insurance run out at second base.
Half the people in this building that are Yankee fans turned to their friend who they're here with and said, I told you about that guy.
That's right. I can't wait for the injured guys to come back again. But how about that last play you made?
Yeah, who was that?
That was lucky.
That was a different guy.
That was lucky.
Sanchez at second base. Anderson the batter. Strike call. Tim on a 6-game hit streak, so not only has the defense improved, his offense is growing as well with his 3rd double the last 6 games. He's just a fun player to watch right now.
And he's been hitting the ball to right field, and that's what this situation dictates. One way or the other, get it to the right side and move along Yolmer.
He does. Curling toward the corner and down all the way to the wall. Sanchez is coming home. There will be no bid on him. It's A double for Anderson. A run for the Sox and a rally building in the 7th against the Yankees.
Trying to do the right thing for Tim Anderson turned into gold as he sliced it away from Walker, who had zero chance of getting to this one. Walker just doesn't run all that well, and so when you slice the ball away from him, it makes it impossible to get to. Driving in his 57th run of the year. Tim going to right field. And Yolmer then scoring easily as Walker decides to go to second base with it, which is the right place to go. You anticipate the runner is going to score from second on a two-base hit.
That may have been the most hittable splitter from Tanaka all night. It just hung around in the zone as the Sox have their 4th hit with runners in scoring position tonight.
And that probably is the #1 sign that Tanaka is starting to tire. He's only thrown 93 pitches. That being said, he had certainly some problems in the 4th inning. He had a lot of problems in the 6th inning. He's having some problems here. So even though it's under 100, many of those pitches have been made under duress.
6 of the last 9 batters have been on against Tanaka. And Larry Rothschild stewing in the dugout. Avi hits it deep to right field. Walker is at the warning track when he camps to make the catch. Tim speeds to third, 1 gone.
And Avi did the right thing. Going to right field, moving Tim along. Walker, it's not his fault. Neil Walker's just not a right fielder. He's never had that kind of an arm.
But he's second baseman.
Yeah, I mean he's forced to play out there because they're running a little thin on outfielders here in the Bronx.
Brett Gardner off today with the left-hander on the mound. Both players with their hats off for separate reasons. Larry Rothschild talking it over with Aaron Boone and our old buddy, the adverb, Tommy Canley, in the bullpen. Polka skies it left-hand side. Robinson coming in, and he makes the catch. And they love him once again. Shane Robinson.
It is
number 2.
Very much a "what have you done for me lately" city.
But lately creeps up on you faster and faster.
Hit a long way to come for that, made the catch, and he was literally at deep shortstop. So Tim, even if he thought about going, as he watched Robinson continue to get closer to the infield, that thought went away.
So Matt Davidson, who walked and scored in the 6th, has a runner at third, 2 out. In a Sox 4-2 lead after trailing with the Gleyber Torres home run in the 4th. Breaking ball for a strike. Tanaka rifling around for a pitch that moves like he wants it to. He was dazzling early with 7 strikeouts in the first 11 outs of this game.
Then he hit the wall in the 4th inning, and with 2 outs in the 4th, he hasn't had a strikeout since.
Two strikes on Davidson. Sox playing great road ball in the month of August. Part of that thanks to Detroit, but the great series in Tampa as well. 9-2 on the road. Mike Schultz, Cardinals, number 2.
And the Astros getting Altuve back, and the Sox getting Ricky back. Ricky's got to be very pleased the way his boys have been playing.
This one skied to right. Walker. He makes the catch to retire the side. Sox going to run though on the Anderson double, and will play bottom 7 with a 2-run lead for Carlos Rodon.
more initials for you coming up. And back into fourth inning. Torres takes one deep. Gleyber Torres hit at 444, the longest of the year. And that one looked like it was shot out of a cannon. He got a hold of a straight change and hit it forever.
A rousing rendition of God Bless America at Yankee Stadium. So Carlos Rodon, who's sent along 89 pitches tonight, 51 fastballs, 23 sliders, 15 changeups. And he does mix in that two-seam fastball. We've seen him mostly use it to try to swing back against the right-handed batters over the inside corner. But your thoughts on Rodon tonight?
I think he's been very good. I mean, you take a look at the stuff. He's walked only 2. He got a little aggravated with a couple of the calls on that Andujar at bat in the fourth inning. It wound up costing him a couple of runs that inning, but he's only given up the 2 hits. So all things considered, he's come in against a very difficult team in a tough place to pitch. And he's throwing as well as he's thrown for the last 8 starts where he's been undefeated.
So Don Cooper, who has had a season where he's had to gauge progress through some high numbers for guys like Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez. But as Coop says, the only time you can really get better, at least physically, for a pitcher is in game and a sideline or in the bullpen before the game. And there's limited time to work with for a starting pitcher. You get it once every 5 days, you see what you get.
That's it. And you try to adjust to what you have on a given day, as Carlos has been doing recently. The New York Yankees in this ballpark are 45-20 coming into play tonight. That's second best record in baseball at home. Even with a banged up lineup, this team continues to play good baseball here in New York, and that's what makes this outing by Rodon look a whole lot better.
Yeah, this lineup for the year has an on-base percentage of .331. That's 4th in baseball. Slugging percentage .453. That's 2nd in baseball. Most home runs 212. And now Carlos getting a little frisky with his control again to lead off an inning. It's 3-0. Torres couldn't pull the trigger. High fastball.
Well, he probably got the 3-0 green light and figured that wasn't the pitch he was looking for, so he wound up taking it.
That's ball 4. Carlos lets out 2 primal screams. And now time for Sticks and Stone, brought to you by your local Volkswagen dealer or VWDealer.com. You got your 18th victory August 1980 by throwing a complete game at Old Yankee Stadium in front of 48,000. Who had the final out?
Wow.
Do you remember?
No. So that's why I'll say Oscar Gamble.
He's your guy when you don't remember?
Yeah. Always go with Oscar. He's recently departed, so that's why I'll go with him. If I get it wrong, you won't know.
Very good rationale. Very strong. After the meeting at the mound, Coop once again comes out and he says something to Carlos after a leadoff walk.
Just wanted him to understand the situation where he's up by a couple of runs. Well, you got a guy up who doesn't run very well, and if you can throw a ground ball, you can certainly think about 2. And that's one of the things that Don Cooper and all pitching coaches try to do, is leave the pitcher with something positive. Like throw a ground ball, get us a double play.
Trying to sneak it in on the corner and missed. Crowd starting to get a little bit more enthusiastic with every pitch out of the zone. Nearly hit him. Eyes wide for Walker. Yours would be 2.
But got that close, and it was in the mid-90s.
Torres at first. Walker looks at ball 3. "97 pitches and a phone call for Don Cooper." He's going to wait to ring the operator till now. Here it comes. Ball 4. 2 on, nobody out for Higashioka. And while we have a moment, here is your answer to Sticks and Stone, brought to you by Volkswagen. Was it Oscar Gamble?
No, it was Bobby Mercer.
Yeah, it was. Well, you successfully used your second chance. A new feature on Sticks and Stone. Congratulations.
Yeah, well,
you remembered later?
I remember it after a friend of mine texted me and told me that that was the answer.
Juan Minaya getting loose in the Sox bullpen after back-to-back walks. And it's up to Carlos against the 7-hitter Higashioka. Then Torres and Robinson. Let's go Yankees ringing in our ears.
Yankees 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. And if he throws another one out of the zone, we're going to see somebody, one of the infielders, go to the mound to give Minaya a chance to get loose. He just got up and started to throw.
That was a let's go nod from Carlos Rodon. A scan of the bases. 2 on. And a breaking ball arches in for a strike.
It was a high slider, but Carlos went to a pitch that he felt comfortable with and got the strike.
Torres at second, Walker at first. Kyle Higashioka takes inside.
Interesting part of this is Higashioka hit it to the right of Anderson the first time up in the second inning. And Carlos has thrown him inside, and yet it's been Tim Anderson to this point of the at bat that has been charged with keeping Torres close at second. I think he wants Moncada rather, to take over.
Yeah, he just pointed, said you got him.
Yeah, because now we're getting to the point where you're thinking he's going to pull the ball.
That's high. 3-1. Carlos had walked 2 in the first 6 innings. Now 2 straight walks and a moment of reflection. Already 13 pitches deep in this 7th.
And with his high of 22 in the 4th, unless a double play is forthcoming, he's going to fly by that if he's allowed to this inning.
3 balls and a strike. Popped up. Back of home. Narvaez makes the catch, 1 down.
Well, that was a huge pitch. It didn't appear to be a strike. And Higashioka really helped out Carlos. That one popped straight up. It looked like this ball was inside off the plate. And that is an out that never gets into fair territory.
So it's an interesting situation here with the 8 and 9 hitters coming up. You've got Torres and then Robinson. But if you do bring in Minaya, you run the risk of facing Brett Gardner among 2 lefties on the bench.
Well, Torres has hit the ball very hard in 2 at-bats, so it would be Robinson, the guy that would be taken down.
That is the cart a little bit before the horse, but that situation is certainly on the horizon as Torres takes a ball. Carlos laboring through this 7th inning with a 2-run advantage. Inside, 2-0. That fastball he's used inside to swing over the corner to cut down right-handed batters just has not been there.
No, this inning he has lost his release point on the inside fastball. Reyes has only grounded into a couple of double plays this year, just 2 of them. But he's been to bat under 100 times.
2-0. That's in there. A strike. 2-1. Ricky Renteria in deep thought. Ronald Torreyes, a triple already against Rodon tonight. 2 balls and a strike. Third base side. Sanchez. Moncada. That's a double play. And it's the end of the 7th inning, too. Carlos's glove just heard some words that we can't provide you, but he is thrilled.
For just the 3rd time this year, Torreyes grounds into a double play. This of the 5-4-3 variety. And out of the inning with a 2-run lead. Red Sox as the American League East coming surely into focus for our Sox. Ram trucks built to serve. Our Ram upcoming schedule, and that Sunday or whatever that thing is looks terrific. Looks like there might be bacon in it, and I will eat anything with bacon in it.
That is a super s'more right there. It's an old friend on the mound.
Tommy Kahnle comes in the ball game. He inherits a 2-run deficit. On for the 15th time. He's been hurt part of this year. The ERA knocking at the door of 6.5. The opponent's batting average is .226, and that fastball probably still pretty good. But the whip at 1.71 is not good.
Yeah, and part of the reason is he has lost a little bit on the fastball. He's still running up at 95 on average, but last year his fastball was 98 miles an hour on average, 97.8, so he's lost 2 miles an hour. Right shoulder tendonitis had him on the DL early. That one at 94, and he's been up and back from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Tommy Kahnle goes off speed for strike 2. That was the difference for him last year, was the development of that pitch.
Yep. Looked like Omar might have hurt his right hand As he took a swing and he's still feeling the effects of it, still trying to shake it out.
Well, he did get hit on the shoulder with that foul ball earlier. He's shaking out the hand, but that you wouldn't imagine has anything to do with this.
No.
Two strikes from Canely.
To another what appeared to be a changeup. That in the high 80s, but still pretty good if he can get it over the plate.
Void at first. Takes in out number one.
Time now for our fourth drive of the game, and it is a two-run double off the bat of Juan Moncada. The second time he came up with the bases loaded, shoots it through the infield. It keeps on rolling. It tied the game at 2. So visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com.
Juan takes ball one from Canely. Sox with a 3-run 6th. That was the cherry on top for Moncada, who's now driven in at least 1 run in 4 straight games. There's a strike. Yankees in the home 8th will have Robinson scheduled, then Hicks and Stanton. But Carlos Rodon tonight outpitched Masahiro Tanaka. Tommy Canely on 1 and 2. Tried to shoot that over the inside corner and missed. That's there for strike 3. Moncada didn't read it out of the hand. And strikeout number 8 for Yankees pitchers. It was July 19th of last year. Tommy Canely, David Robertson, Todd Frazier came over here. Tyler Clippard, Ian Clarkin, Blake Rutherford, Tito Polo on the other side of the deal for the Sox, and Canely was the main target for the Yankees in that deal.
Well, if you remember back, Canely was throwing it really well at that point. And David Robertson wasn't throwing it quite as well. Robertson with a lot more experience and closer experience at that, as they wanted to beef up the back end of that bullpen. And they were able to do it.
Voit on Delmonico for out number 3. Straight into the dugout with momentum. 1-2-3 inning for Canely. Sox are up 2. regular menu priced items only at papajohns.com. Use promo code SOXWIN. It's valid at participating Papa John's locations. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Got a couple of guys coming into the ball game that are different. Juan Minaya, the first, on for the 38th time. He's 1-2. His ERA at 3.82. Opponent's batting average just 2.18, and lately he's been throwing it pretty well. Also have a new left fielder, and it is Ryan Lamar. He checks in the game defensively, looking over his defensive card after a short conversation with Adam Engel.
And in case he forgets the score, it's right behind him.
And Brett Gardner coming on to pinch hit.
As we thought he might, but a much better situation to see him in rather than two runners on and a possible rally for the Yankees. So Gardner, with his 11 home runs, takes a first pitch ball. Gardner looks at a strike. The Carlos Rodon 7 innings, just 2 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Pretty impressive when you consider he had very good stuff early. And then the stuff wasn't quite as good later on, but Carlos showed you how much battle he has in him, because he really battled his way through that 7th inning specifically. 2 on with walks, went to 3 balls. Got a pop up and a double play to get out of the inning, no runs scored. Yankees fan up and going. It's A.J. Cole.
Former Washington developmental starting pitcher, now in the Yankees bullpen. Minaya is so close to the zone. Gardner's had to swing at the last 2 pitches, even though he didn't really think he could do much with him.
One uses that splitter as his wipeout pitch, and lately it's been pretty good.
One-two on the ground, third base. Sanchez gives ground, gives a big throw, and gets the out.
Yolmer had to get everything he had into that one, because he knew that Gardner from the left side can fly. It was a slowly hit ball, a high chopper, and he poured it across to get him by a step. Planting the back foot early and getting it across just in time.
Oh, that was all upper body right there.
Nice play by Yolmer. He planted early and got everything that he had behind that throw.
But right there, that's the difference between knowing your scouting report, knowing your opponents, and what we saw earlier on the other side.
Not knowing.
By the way, the radar gun on Yolmer's throw said 81 miles an hour across the diamond.
Not too bad.
He can huck it.
He's shown a surprising arm, making that move from basically a second baseman to a third baseman.
And as he told us, what he's showing right now is just 10% of the arm.
He's got a lot left in the tank.
He can throw it 810 miles an hour in his own mind. One. First base, and that's a foul ball.
That one took a wild kick.
You know, that took enough of a hop that you could imagine some people down there thought it hit the bag, but it was actually wide of the bag.
And it was clearly foul. And a good thing that it was.
Matt's thinking, when I DH, I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. One and two. Check swing. He didn't go.
Well, that was a really good splitter. It looked to me like Hicks had started to swing and checked it up. Takes some pretty strong hands to be able to do that. He starts his swing, and at the last instant, just barely, and I mean barely, checks it up. That could have gone the other way easily.
That one gets away. 3-2 on Aaron Hicks. I do think baseball would benefit from having a clearer rule on what a swing is, because we are guessing.
It's clear.
It's whatever you want it to be.
That's it.
The reasonable person thinks it's a swing, and that's enough for us.
That is. I like that. Considering that, what, 75–80% are actually swings?
According to the pitcher in the room.
Yeah, maybe 90%.
Foul away. We'll get another 3 and 2 from Mania to Hicks. Sox got 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th to lead 4-2 tonight in this series opener in the Bronx. Ricky Renteria back and healthy, rejoining the team in Detroit after Joe McEwing did a very nice job in his stead. Left field side, Lamar just into the game, squeezes out number 2.
When you got Stan in the on-deck circle, it's terrific to get the guy out before him, because when you're facing him, as prolific a home run hitter as he is, you don't want him to represent the tying run. The best he can do at this point is to get him within a run.
You'd imagine it lessens the likelihood that the opposing pitcher is going to tiptoe around him too. You're more likely to throw strikes. You don't have to worry about him tying the game, right?
That's it. Of course, the man behind him has been red hot, and Miguel Andujar, so can't go around him too much.
First base, Davidson, foul territory, has room, and a 1-2-3 8th inning for Juan Minaya. Stanton's 0 for 4. Sox lead 4-2.
He came on to pinch hit, so Robinson's night is done for a second time. And A.J. Cole comes in the ball game on for the 26th time. He's 4-1. His ERA 5.5. Well, his batting average up there at .274, so he's apparently come in at the right time.
Sox will have Engel, Sanchez, and Anderson coming up. 9-1-2. Adam 2 for 3 with an infield single and a single to the left. And a hard hit ball to left field for the high note of Shane Robinson's evening. Up the middle. Torres might have stolen another one. No, he didn't. Engel's safe. Adam deserved at least one of those last 2 balls, and this one is an infield single. He's 3 for 4.
Well, Torres does have a good arm, except it's not that good. Throwing from your posterior at shortstop, you're not going to get too many folks. You're certainly not ever going to get Adam Engel. So he's now 3 for 4 and was robbed of going 4 for 4. It was a good play by Torres, but couldn't get enough on the throw.
Rarely does the Dobie Gray throw work. One on, nobody out for Sanchez, who you'd imagine, Yolmer Sanchez playing so many games this year, playing every day. You would think that if there was a time, as the ball got away for a moment, Engel being alert, you'd imagine if there was a time that Yolmer was going to slow down, it would be around now at the end of the season. But he currently has his career-long on-base streak going at 15.
Yeah, it's been a remarkable year for him overall. Guy who was never played every day in the major leagues, playing now.
Adam was about a quarter of the way to second base and slammed on the brakes off that pitch.
He was trying to see what kind of a lead he can get on Cole, and looked to me like it was a pretty good lead.
That one gets away. Adams into second base.
We'll wait to see who the air is on. Looks like it's going to be E1 as that ball hit the backside of Adam Engel and then bounded away.
Now it's up to Sanchez with Engel at second base to get him over, get him in. On the ground, second base. He got him over. Torres throws him out. Engel to third.
Nice at bat by Yolmer as the circumstances changed, and so did the at bat. And as the at bat turned into Adam Engel at second base and nobody out, it moved into a pull situation, and he was able to pull the ball. And now the infield in at all four positions for one of the hotter of the Sox hitters, Tim Anderson.
Two doubles tonight. And there's strike one from A.J. Cole. He is Andrew Jordan Cole, the opposition, former fourth-round pick of the Nationals 8 years ago. Be nice to have one more run here
against this Yankee team in their park. Can't have too many, and one more would look pretty good, especially with the heart of the order due up and a lot of right-handers coming up,
which neutralizes the Sox advantage in the bullpen with all those left-handers. Oh, there's one of those lefties, Xavier Cedeno. Two and two.
Cole got a little lucky. That was a slider that stayed middle in and didn't do a whole lot. Tim just swung through it.
Infield drawn in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cue shot first base side, and it's booted by Voit. Sox get a run. Tim racing to second. He's going to win that, and it's 5-2 as Engel scores.
Looks like that's going to be E1 as that one came off with an unbelievable amount of spin. I think Voit picks up the air. We'll take a look at it. Cued off the end of the bat. Voit's there, but the ball just kicks off his glove. E3, run batted in. They're not anticipating with that kind of spin you could make the throw to the plate, and a lot of hustle by Tim Anderson gets him easily into second base.
Second driven in for Tim. Aaron Boone watching his ball of yarn unspool in this 9th. It's an interesting beginning of the week series for the Yankees as they play the Sox. The Red Sox take on the Marlins. So the Yankees could lose half a game in the standings tonight with Boston off. Oh, 1 for Avi. Downstairs, runner goes. Anderson at third. Higashioka couldn't pick it up cleanly, and Tim swipes the bag.
That's really what you want to do. You want to do it with one out if you're going to do it. And Tim got a great start. Cole slow to the plate, uses a high leg kick. Higashioka decides that he's going to be able to make this play, but he doesn't have the baseball. Tim in easily, and now it forces the infield in once again.
Which opens up some lanes, some avenues for Avisail Garcia on 1-1. In the air, foul ground, first base side, and this will reach the seats. A couple of seats, in fact.
And that guy got a huge carom, seemingly down about 8 or 9 rows.
Ball and 2 strikes on Garcia. Anderson at third. That one was way inside. 2-2.
With where Torreyes is setting up, he's just on the right side. You almost have to hit it through Cole to get it to Torreyes, leaving the entire right side vacant.
Which raises the question, what do you get out of him being there?
I don't know, because if you got a fielder who can field his position at all, he's going to be able to make that play.
Just a bouncing ball over the mound.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty well behind him. But apparently that's what the defensive charts say, that Avi on occasion hits it there.
Chopper foul again, still 2-2. The Yankees in the home ninth will have Andujar, Voit, and Torres. So 3, 4, and 5 scheduled for the Yankees. Two and 2 from AJ Cole to Avi Garcia. Anderson at third off the error. Strike 3, ball gets away. Tim's racing home. Great read, and he gets the run. Streaking home for run number 6.
That's just heads up base running by Tim Anderson. He noticed right away that Higashioka could not locate the baseball. And you have to guess how far this ball actually got away. And Tim thought, well, I got good speed and that ball is far enough away for me to score. He scored easily. And then takes a tumble into Mark Carlson, but no chance to get him. Once Higashioka loses sight of where the baseball is, you can't get him at the plate.
Just over 5 seconds, third to home for Tim Anderson. But the read was what stood out as Palka takes a ball low.
Really a heads up play because you can't tell how far the ball is going to get away. The break that Tim got was it went to the left of Higashioka, giving him a chance to see just how far the ball was away from the catcher. And Tim thought, well, I got a good shot, and he did. Scored easily.
So the extra run makes it a 4-run game. Tim got the ball in play to drive in the run earlier in the inning, getting Engel home off the error by Voit. He ends up on base. And here we are, 6-2. And ball 3. Rough inning for A.J. Cole.
His defense has let him down, but he has not been overwhelming.
.3-0. Palka swings and jams on it to right center field for out number 3. Oh, out number 2, I should say. Avi over there at first. I was trying to punch Avi out. That's the second out of the inning. Thanks for playing. So Davidson. And there's ball number 1. .62 Sox in the 9th. Avi runs. Matt swings and hits it in the air right hand side. Walker is there for the 3rd out. 2 pitches later than some of us thought it was. 6-2 Sox with the lead, trying to close it out after this. In the top of the 9th inning, and Juan Minaya remains, but Carlos Rodon tonight, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. He walked 4, struck out 2. For Carlos, 9 straight starts of 6 innings, 3 runs or less, 5 hits or fewer. It's the longest streak by a Sox pitcher of 6 innings, 3 runs, 5 hits since at least 1908. To right field, Avi on the move. He is there to make the catch on Andujar to start the 9th.
Well, we knew that Carlos was throwing it as well as we've seen in a long time. We just didn't know it was historically all that well.
Yeah, let me lay that out one more time because there's a lot there, but 6 innings or more, 3 runs or fewer, 5 hits or fewer. He's done it 9 straight times. It's the longest streak for a Sox pitcher since at least 1908.
Really remarkable, as good as he's been. And it coincides with getting the requisite starts in because he missed all the spring training. Once he got those 5 starts or so in, it was like the beginning of a regular major league season for him. And since then, he's thrown unbelievably well.
only pitcher in Major League Baseball this year with as long of a streak of those numbers as Justin Verlander, who did it 13 straight from April to June. But no Sox pitcher since 1908 has, as this is a base hit to left. Voit finally hits one on a line after 3 towering fly ball outs tonight.
Time now for the IDOT Safe Play, reminding you that safe driving habits really are a matter of life and death. And for the first time, a line drive base hit. So visit lifeordeathillinois.com.
Torres takes ball 1. Gleyber Torres, who hasn't made an out tonight. 2 walks and a home run.
He's a really good looking young player. And by young, we mean very young. 21 years old.
Like if you said to him last year you want to grab a drink and watch a game, it would have been chocolate milk.
Yeah, we can watch a game, certainly.
One and one, Manaea to Torres.
Those of you who might not know, if you have yourself an Aroldis Chapman, you can probably get back a Gleyber Torres if in fact that team that happened to have him is in the race. And that's what happened as they traded Chapman to the Cubs. Torres came back this way, and he is some player.
Then they got Chapman back.
And they got him back.
That is the prototypical have your cake and eat it too. Two and two on Torres. Voit at first, 1 gone, 9th inning. And that's into the glove, strike 3. Manaea guns down Torres. Only the 3rd strikeout for Sox pitching tonight with a 6-2 lead.
Put him into swing mode, and even though he caught a piece of that, it stuck in Omar's glove, and so Torres is down on strikes for the first time tonight. And retired for the first time tonight.
Here comes Ricky Renteria. Neil Walker, the batter. 2 out, 9th inning. And Manaea will not finish this game. So for Juan Manaea, an inning and 2/3, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. The final out will not be his. And the Sox will make a pitching change, just the 2nd of this game. Xavier Cedeno, the left-hander, comes out of the bullpen. And here is what's happened this day in history. 1938, Joe DiMaggio, 3 straight triples.
That's unbelievable. I mean, old stadium, new stadium, I don't care where you hit 3 triples, but 3 in a row is ridiculous.
Back-to-back inside the park home runs in Yankee Stadium as well. And then Ricky Henderson broke the record that some people thought might not be broken.
And proclaimed he was the greatest.
Then ran into John Olerud again. This date in baseball history. 3 straight triples.
Yeah, that's amazing. As is, well, back-to-back inside the park home runs is pretty amazing also.
I wonder which is less likely. I bet the home run.
Less likely, I would think 3 straight triples is less likely.
That's an interesting question.
Okay. Well,
we'll mull it over as you take a look at Xavier Cedeno.
Xavier Cedeno coming in the ball game for the 32nd time. He's 2-0, 3-point ERA. There you look at the rest of the numbers, they're very good. Opponent's batting average of .213.
We talked about Tim Anderson tonight. He's got a couple of hits. He's scored a run. He's driven in 2. And Tim doing something very nice for the community with his League of Leaders program. free haircuts and school supplies for 100 Chicago area kids. You can get an appointment. 773-536-5050 is the phone number. Success Barber Salon in Bronzeville. So a great thing that Tim's doing for some youngsters getting ready for school this year. I don't think Tim's going to be cutting the hair, but
I would hope not. But he'll be presiding.
Yes, he will. So Neil Walker.
He'll hit from the right side where he is not quite as effective. Doesn't have near the power as he does as a left-hand hitter.
Cedeno to Walker. Breaking ball, strike one. Juan Minaya, nice job tonight, an inning and 2/3 to get us here.
He threw it very well. And he's been throwing it very well the second half of the year.
After a rough start to this year, he ended up getting bumped down to AAA Charlotte. Since he's come back, you're right, he's been a big part of this bullpen.
And it's really hard to figure out what went wrong. But from a guy who was 9 of 10 in save situations last year to a guy who couldn't throw the ball over the plate this year, he was a completely different pitcher, and now he's back to the guy we saw last year.
Minaya did the job he was asked to do. He got 5 outs. Two balls and a strike. Ball 3. Genmar Gomez possibly come on down. Broken bat, first base, fair ball. Davidson stops the bag, and the Sox take the opener against the Yankees behind Tim Anderson and Carlos Rodon. 6-2 the final score.
Well, if you needed any more proof that the team was playing better baseball, they came in here against a team that has everything to win for. The Yankees are trying to get there. This sets them back another half game, another game in the loss column. This was a big loss for the Yankees, and the Sox, playing their best baseball of the year, continue to play their best baseball of the year.